Hello and welcome to Vlogtober day 8. So I thought today that I would share with you a little bit about me again. It seemed that you really enjoyed finding out a little bit more about me, where I come from, where I grew up, what I do, and my general family life. I got loads of really positive comments, so thank you to everybody who left one of those. I thought today that I would focus a little bit around my current journey with my physical activity, so my exercise. So as you'll have noticed on my early Vlogtober posts, I've been working out with a personal trainer in the gym. And this is something that is relatively new to me. So if you follow me on Instagram or anywhere else, you will have seen probably a little bit more of it and a little bit more about what I've been eating and what I've been doing over what is now the past 4 weeks. So as I've mentioned before, I've been doing a lot of personal development work over the last year or so, and about 5 months ago I started working with a particular business mentor, and my life has massively changed over those past 5 months. What she's really done is allowed me to look deeper inside myself, look at what I want to achieve, who I want to be in the future, and with my business and also my personal life. And one of the things that consistently came up time and time again was that I wasn't particularly happy with the way that I looked. I didn't feel massively overweight. As some of you know, I had been doing Slimming World previously for the past 2.5 years, and I had actually lost 3.5 stone in total. I used to be a size 16 and I got down to a size 10. And then had gone back up to a 12, but it was consistent. I'd managed to maintain that for some time, and I was happy enough in my skin. I wasn't too bothered about it, but recently I realised that in order to be able to continue to carry on doing the sheer amount of stuff that I do on a day-to-day basis, I needed to see a massive rise in my energy levels. And so for that, I knew that I needed to change the way that I was eating so that I was fueling my body with lots of energy giving foods, and that I was also exercising so that I looked after my body and helped to maintain my energy levels. Also, I'd obviously lost an awful lot of weight, and in doing that, you'll know if you've done big weight loss programs before that you end up with all sorts of wobbly bits that you're not particularly happy about. Bits that you, Joe Blogs, probably wouldn't see from the outside, but obviously I know are there. And when it comes to spending a little bit of time with the hubby, shall we say, although he's not bothered in the slightest about how I look, I personally didn't feel 100% happy with things as they were. So I knew I had to do something. So I am probably the laziest person I know. The thought of joining a gym filled me with absolute dread. I'm not one for classes, I have to admit. I don't particularly like them. I'm not amazingly structured. I don't have the same slots of time every week, every day. Every day is different for me. So I can't say that at 7:30 on a Tuesday I'll go to Pilates, and at 9 o'clock on a Friday I'll go to legs, bums and tums or whatever. It's just not going to work for me. At the same point, I'm not very disciplined, so I used to enjoy getting up and going for a walk, just going out exploring. I've done some lives on my Facebook page in the past where I've been out walking in the fields and come across sheep and all sorts of things. They've just been a bit nutty, and I do really enjoy doing it, but I'm not particularly disciplined. When I'm out, I love it, but getting out in the first place is the hardest part for me. I really don't particularly enjoy exercise. So I knew that I needed to exercise, and I had set myself a personal target of exercising 3 times a week. And it turns out that the only way I was going to do that was to hand over a shed load of cash to somebody. Because for me, handing over my money means that I am going to do what I said I was going to do. And I stumbled across a post on good old Facebook from Cyril, who is my PT, and he was basically asking for women because he realised that, you know, it was people like me that he needed, He was asking 4 women to come forward who wanted to change their body shape, who wanted to retrain their minds and bodies to exercise regularly, who wanted to try and eat a little bit more healthily, but still enjoy the things that they enjoyed eating. And that was the thing that sold it for me. I didn't want somebody who was going to take away all the good things that I enjoyed. Someone who was going to say to me, you can't drink wine, you can't eat chocolate, you can't have a dirty burger when you've been out for a night out. I don't need that in my life. To me, that would make me miserable as sin, and I am not going to do it. So he wasn't asking for me to do that. He was asking for me to commit to exercise, which was something that I know that I have to do. If I don't do it, it's not going to make a change. So I went to see him, I think now, it would have been about 2 months ago. I think it was the middle of August. I went and had a little assessment session. He took loads of measurements. He looked at all of my metabolic rate, my BMI, how many inches I was in various places, my arms, my legs, my waist, my hips. All sorts of really good calculations, made a note of it all, and then sat down with me and talked to me about my sugar intake, protein intake, what was good to eat, what was bad to eat. And I was pleasantly surprised actually to find that a lot of the things that I wasn't allowed on Slimming World, I could actually have as part of a diet. So avocados, for instance, I love avocados. Obviously you can't eat one a day, 7 days a week. That's not a good thing. They are full of fat, but they're full of good fats. So 1 or 2 a week, absolutely fine. So that's lovely. That gives me a new breakfast and a new lunch that I can have every week. He was talking about increasing protein, which means you get protein from obviously meat and certain vegetables and fish and things like that, but you also get protein from nuts. And on Slimming World, nuts were a complete and utter no-no. But again, in moderation, a small amount of nuts is really good for you, especially when you're exercising on a regular basis. So this was music to my ears. I could eat some things that I don't normally have. But also I was aware I did need to cut back on my alcohol intake a little bit. I do like my wine. Although I have learned that Prosecco and champagne is lower in sugar than wine. So therefore, if you replace your wine intake with a nice bottle of champers, all good. So anyway, what Cyril was offering was a 12-week body transformation program. And he got me to write down what I wanted to achieve at the end of the 12 weeks. And so I've done that. I'm not going to share it with you because that's for me, but I've written down what I want to achieve, and we are now working together to achieve that. So it's a fantastic package. Not only do I work out with him 3 times a week, sometimes I get him to myself, as I mentioned in a couple of Vlogtobers back. Sometimes there's 2 or 3 of us. Sometimes there could be up to 6 of us in a session. But we work out 3 times a week. We do a real mixture of things. We do lots of fun stuff. We do kickboxing, we do boxing, we do weight training, core, cardio, legs, arms, tums, whatever we need to do on a particular session. It's always a little bit different and it's always lots of fun. Today, for instance, I've just got back from a half-an-hour session and we've been solely doing kickboxing, and that is something that I have discovered that I really enjoy. I'm actually surprised how unbelievably aggressive I can be. And I'm not punching or kicking anyone in particular, I will say that now, but to actually just be able to is just, oh, it's lovely. It's such a good feeling. Poor Cyril, he's actually quite little, and a couple of times today I'm giving him a knee in the groin. Obviously he's wearing big pads and he was taking a bit of a knockback, so it was good fun. Really enjoyed it, and you can really feel it working. I'm 4 weeks in now and I can honestly say we've done the measurements, we've done the weight, things are coming down, which is great, but I feel so much fitter. I can see here, for instance, in my shoulders, I can see some definition starting to appear. My face is thinner. there's areas on my thighs, so literally probably from my hip bone down my thighs, the outside of my thighs, there's no fat there anymore. The wobble has gone. They are flat and they're firm, and I can honestly feel my body starting to firm up and tone up, and that's just 4 weeks in. The joys of it is because I am going 3 times a week, and because I have handed over a big chunk of cash that is making me go, but I can see the changes. It means that I don't want to fuel my body with things that aren't good for me. If I fancy a chocolate bar, I'd look at it and go, no, do you know what? I'm not going to have that chocolate bar because that goes against what I'm currently doing. And that's what I tell myself, but actually I haven't even been tempted by it. I can honestly say I've been walking around the shops. I haven't wanted a bag of crisps. I haven't wanted popcorn. I haven't wanted ice cream. I haven't wanted all the things that I normally crave. And I think that's because I'm fueling my body properly with the things that it needs. I'm exercising and it's doing what it needs to do to keep me healthy. And I'm actually not craving that bad stuff. So that is a really good thing. So I'm 4 weeks in. We'll see, hopefully by the end of Vlogtober. What have we got? Will probably be another 2 weeks or so. So I'll give you a little update of where I am. And obviously if you keep following me on Instagram and other social medias like Facebook, then you'll be able to see me at the end of 12 weeks. Now Cyril did take some photos of me at the beginning. They're pretty horrific. I wouldn't normally share them with you, but in 12 weeks time, when the new me reveals herself, we'll pop those 2 photos up against each other so you can see the difference. But yeah, that's a little bit about my exercise journey, why I'm doing what I'm doing, and how I'm doing it. So if you're interested in finding out more, then keep following.